Energy Council, the largest network of energy leaders dedicated to delivering a sustainable energy system for the greatest benefit of all, released a much-awaited World Energy Trilemma Index 2019 on the third day of 24th World Energy Congress at Abu Dhabi. According to the Trilemma Index, 120 out of 129 countries have improved on their overall trilemma score. Devdiscourse asked the top experts of the World Energy Council on the achievability of the SDG 7 set up by the United Nations for the year 2030. The top officials of the Council categorically admitted that the clean energy targets of SDG 7 can't be achieved by 2030. Though the experts were of the view that the world would be closer to achieving SDG 7 if the two big countries, India and China, achieve the targets of clean energy adoption.
A number of countries are making significant progress, but there are a few that aren't making that level of progress. What the trilemma provides is that countries can learn from one another, so that those countries, for example, I'd highlight Kenya, which has made significant progress in a very short period of time. Other countries can learn how they have done that. Nepal is another country which has made significant progress, and again, others can learn from those examples.
I would say of all the Sustainable Development Goals, this is the one which is likely to come closest to 100%. Issues, for example, of CO2 reduction are much more ambitious.
SDG goal number 7 is about universal basic access. And we think that, as Philip has said, that's the goal that we think is most likely to be achieved. But the trilemma also helps us look beyond basic access. We know as more and more countries achieve universal basic access, we also have to stretch the ambition in terms of better access, quality access for livelihoods, not just basic access, and also to address issues of affordability in many OECD as well as emerging economies. So the Trilemma Index evolves all the time to push policy performance further and further ahead. Philip?
I think what you referred to is hydrocarbons and CO2 reduction. And you will have perhaps been listening during the Congress to the estimates and the forecasts of some institutions, also the scenarios of World Energy Council, which come to the conclusion that for the moment, in any scenario, we are not reaching even the 2-degree centigrade ceiling. Therefore, the sustainability corner of the triangle of the trilemma remains a challenge everywhere, but particularly in those countries which have very heavily invested in infrastructure based on fossil fuels, and it'll take the progress towards a global reduction will be strongly influenced by the distribution between the efforts of different countries. If India and China continue to make progress even faster than they do now, then the efforts made by some other countries will be compensated for. If China and India don't, then we will have some reductions, but we will not achieve the overall goal.
But I do think there's cause for optimism, because if you look in terms of some of the markets where accessibility to power has been very, very low, and you look at the solutions that are being put forward, they're very sort of low carbon solutions. I mean, we're seeing a huge amount of work that's being done in parts of Africa and Asia around distributed grids based on solar and wind systems or whatever. So I think, clearly markets in India and China, which are making huge progress in any case, are going to be critically important to the overall targets. But I don't think we should lose sight of, the work that's being done in Kenya, the work that's being done in Nepal, the work that's being done in Bangladesh, in terms of, increasing accessibility and using low carbon technologies at the same time. And I think we need to celebrate those points.